I think there is a reason why right now, especially among younger people, Catholicism is very hot, and why since the year of our Floyd, evangelical Protestantism has lost some ground and has moved a little bit more woke and has, somehow during COVID, just a lot of the evangelicals had been the bulwark of the Republican Party, and they started to crack a little bit, just as the Catholics started moving a little bit more in the rightward direction after years of being infiltrated by a ton of Democrats. Why is that? The issue, I think, is not so much theological as it is ecclesiological. Because the Catholic Church has been around for a very, very, very long time, because the Catholic Church recognizes a serious role for tradition, the magisterium of the church, the Catholics cannot do that. The Catholics cannot promote gay marriage. The Catholics cannot promote same-sex adoption. It can't happen. I'm not saying that there aren't snakes in the church who want to do that. There are. That's actually my point. There are plenty of snakes in the church. To quote Pope Paul VI, who was a relatively liberal pope, to quote Pope Paul VI, the smoke of Satan has entered into the church. And still, the Catholic Church cannot promote that stuff because of the magisterium, the weight of history, the inability of modern innovators to radically change the church.
How about Friar James Martin or Bishop John Stow or Janine Gramick? I mean, these are just a few people who are LGBTQ affirming on some level, who have stations in the Catholic Church. What about organizations like Dignity USA or New Ways to Minister or Fortunate Family? Now, these are all things that Michael Knowles would say, well, that fits in the smoke of Satan that's coming in, but the church can't topple, even though this smoke is in there. You have rogue parishes, the Holy Trinity Catholic Church of Washington, D.C., the St. Monica's Parish in California. How many celebrities that are Catholic, how many politicians who are Catholic are completely in line with homosexuality and normalizing it? Previous president, Joe Biden, was allegedly a Roman Catholic. You have the previous pope who talked many times about normalizing homosexual behavior. I mean, Nancy Pelosi, how many people do you want me to name? This isn't so much ecclesiastical as it is doctrinal. Matthew Knowles has it absolutely the opposite. Tell me, how do you get the Boy Scouts back? You could say, well, the Boy Scouts is very strong. You could have said this like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. The Boy Scouts is really strong. They've wave after wave of these homosexual normalization lawsuits and everything else. They keep fighting them. They win. They're a legacy organization. They got strong leaders. They fell. And once they fell, their fall was great. When you have disestablished, more organically forming, localized control in a polity, when you have congregants who retain the conservative theology, it is much easier for the organizations to outlast the attempted takeovers. It all depends. If you have heresy and immorality on the lower levels, yeah, a strong ecclesiology of people on the top levels is going to be helpful. When you have the inverse, Protestant denominations that are evangelical, that have retained the doctrine, they're stronger on the lower levels. They're not as susceptible to the managerialism. Which church had a worse problem with their leaders committing acts of sexual indiscretion, to put it mildly, with minors? Was it the Catholic Church or was it Protestant denominations? We know the answer to this, right? It was easier to cover that up in the Catholic Church because of the strong polity. Michael Knowles, don't give me this. Chip and Joanna Gaines have no ecclesiastical function. They are not pastors. They are not wedded to a denomination of some kind. They are some people with a reality hit TV show that got big and they ended up monetizing it. That's who they are. They grew up with some cultural Christianity. If you want to compare apples and apples, maybe compare Chip and Joanna Gaines with, I don't know, Mark Wahlberg or some other celebrity that's Catholic. And Mark Wahlberg has done tons of stuff to normalize homosexuality. So, it's like, don't give me that, guys.